Hello, folks. Nice to see you. The other day, I did a long piece about Simone Weil, uh, Veil, French philosopher. Um, let's see here. Yeah. So she was a French philosopher, and she's a contemporary of Simone de Beauvoir and Albert Camus. And she was a scholar and a teacher, and she was an expert in mathematics. And she died at 34 of tuberculosis due to general ill health. She was an ascetic Christian mystic. Her religious proclivities are very unique. She never partook in any of the ritual. Uh, I won't go into that, but she's quite an interesting woman. I've always liked her. I've read her for a long period of time. There's a lot of good stuff on the internet related to her and her work, podcasts and thousands of academic papers where people are dealing with her specifically, not just citing her. And she's one of those less appreciated philosophers, political philosophers that we have. And it's unfortunate. I just want this to be a short piece to introduce you to her. And I suggest you read her. She's a person whose thought processes I appreciate and like. And I always get something from reading her over and over again. And also, it's interesting with people, deep thinkers who are doers, not just abstract philosophers, but people who live their philosophy in some way. She was interested in Stoicism and things like this as well. And that also informs some of her ideas about living according to your beliefs, embodying your philosophy, and so on. But anyhow, yeah, so I got a whole bunch of sites here. I want to let you know that you can go to this site, the Anarchist Library, and before you freak out, because the word anarchist or like anarcho syndicalism or socialist or social democracy or something like that, get over it. Uh, Study what it is, how it originated. The same thing with capitalism. Go back a few hundred years and look at what happened in England when the partitions started and big landowners started to come online several hundred years ago. Learn about it, how it developed. Read some books, read some articles, and don't be afraid. These are weasel words that ignorant people, especially politicians and their staff and lobbyists and so on, use to frighten the public. Somehow it's all bad. Stalin, communism, bad. And nobody's read Marx or Engels or any other commentaries on their work over the last 100 years or whatever. So get over that because this is really interesting stuff. And I hate to tell you, but this particular social organization that we have now, it's not forever. It's not inevitable. It wasn't inevitable, and it's not going to last forever. It will end. Circumstances will dictate. There are many reasons to believe now more than ever that it will come to an end. It won't be some particular political group or revolution that's going to do it. It's going to be a whole set of very complicated, intertwined circumstances that will decide what comes next. And unfortunately, at the scale we have now, with over 8 billion people on the planet, and with neoliberal global capital and capitalism in the driver's seat, with unlimited growth on a limited planet, a mentality, faith, religion, economic philosophy, we're just practically, it's going to end itself. So Marx thought it would end itself a lot sooner. And don't be afraid of Marx, or people talk about neo-Marxism or something. This is all nonsense. It's meaningless. You have to learn about these things, and then you can decide how you feel about them. Read up first, then quiet down, shut all the books, meditate and think about it, and then you'll come up with an opinion that will come from your agency, from your personal beliefs and so on. And there's a lot of this in Simone Weil's work. Simone Weil. I can't pronounce French. So anyway, this is one. The Anarchist Library is a good resource for these kinds of things. This is one essay, Oppression and Liberty. I took a lot of notes and I made another video, but it's so long. And I don't think anybody wants to listen to me drone on about it. This is a good article on Jacobin. Simone Weil was a saint of the socialist movement. And this is a nice article if you just want to acquaint yourself with her from a biographical and philosophic perspective, because it covers a lot of her work in a very brief way and puts her in context in the 1930s and 20s in Europe. So that's a good way to get this particular essay. I really love. It's called The Iliad, or The Poem of Force. And something she always talked about was what's kind of true agency, where we're actually making decisions by ourselves because we can, and we know they're right for ourselves, as opposed to all the force, the things that are determining our behavior, coercion and propaganda and education and economic circumstances and so on that force you into thinking and believing and doing certain things. So she goes through the Iliad and then comments on it in her own unique, beautiful way. And I really love it. And then The Need for Roots is one of her books. She wrote, but she wrote a lot of stuff at the end of her life. She died when she was 34. She had a limited, body of work because she died so young, and people have, consolidated some of her works, made anthologies of it, and so on. The Need for Roots is a really good one. It's a prelude to a declaration of duties towards mankind. This is so good, and I could talk about it forever, and I've underlined all kinds of things in this. But it's a long, book. And what else do we have here? Obsession and Liberty. That you can also find. Oh, I just went through that. Yeah, so I would highly recommend you look into Simone Weil and read her work. There's lots of articles, as I've said, and podcasts devoted, episodes, hours and hours of material. She's someone whose thinking I really appreciate, and I just wanted to share that with you. So I hope you're having a good week so far. I'm going to make another video with my friend Mick on Friday about accelerationism. I have a theory about accelerationism, and it's an interesting topic. So I hope you'll tune into that. It should be up on Saturday. And I'll tell you a little bit more about this. But for now, William T. out.